Real estate agents, they tell the same story. This is not my opinion. This is fact. Everyone knows how everybody's always number one in their market. It's all what I sold, dollar per square foot. Nobody's inspiring anybody. It's the same story every time.
What should real estate agents do instead?
And I mean, everybody uses what I call death by text, block, boring ass testimonials. If you want to stand out in the deep sea of realtors out there, okay, number one, how many people on the team? And I would go ask them, what would it take for you to feel like you're part of the team? Get that feedback. And they're probably going to be like, oh, I already feel like I'm part of the team. The second question is,
I heard Grant Cardone say that best known beats best. And that smacked me in the face, because there's so many agents too that are like, well, I just really want to become a really great agent, but no one will work with you if they don't know you exist.
Welcome back to another episode of The Agent Goldmine. And today's episode, we're back to interviewing for the next couple of episodes. Today, we're interviewing Ricky Mendez, who is a longtime friend of mine. We met like 15 years ago on a cruise. He is a motivational speaker and loves talking about mindset fitness, which is what you're going to learn in today's episode. It's going to be all about mindset, vitality, health, and overall just upgrading from negativity to positivity, and a lot of good hacks on this episode. Ricky Mendez is an international speaker, a high performance coach, a mindset fitness expert who's taught leadership, sales to multiple organizations. He's trained Fortune 500 companies, multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs. I'm talking businesses like Lululemon, Costco, Home Depot, all of that. He installs mindset systems that create massive results. So today is going to be all about looking at your business at a 5,000 foot view, 30,000 foot view. When you're feeling low, how can you snap out of that to turn that negativity into positivity, so that way you can continue growing and scaling your business? Ricky Mendez is speaking at a couple of regional rallies with EXP. I believe is speaking at EXPCon in 2025 this year too. He's friends with Leo, the CEO. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to Leo. You can reach out to Leo too. You can reach out to Ricky. His information is going to be near the end of the podcast. Today was a really, really good episode. I think you're going to love it.
Welcome to The Agent Goldmine, the only podcast in the world specifically for real estate agents who are stuck at 5 transactions a year to help them get to 20 plus. Your hosts, Ali Garced and Shelby Johnson, 2 EXP Icon agents, each do over 40 transactions a year and interview others who are crushing it. In this podcast, you'll receive the knowledge to help you scale your business using systems and processes with our interviews and monologues twice a week. If you want to join us at EXP Realty, go to theagentgoldmine.com to book a call. Welcome to the show.
Ricky, thank you so much for jumping on The Agent Goldmine. We are both super excited to have you. Before we hit record, we were already talking about marketing and health and vitality. So you brought a stack of marketing stuff. Let's just jump right in there. Let's talk marketing first. What is this?
So, real estate agents, they tell the same story. This is not my opinion. This is fact. If you go through all of these, I live in a bit of a block from the water in Southern California in Marina Del Rey. I get so much marketing, and it's the same marketing from everybody. One, it's facts and figures. Everyone knows how everybody's always number one in their market. It's all what I sold, dollar per square foot. Nobody's inspiring anybody. It's the same story every time. It is male dominated, facts and figures, theoretical. It lacks emotion to it. And if you want to stand out in the deep sea of realtors out there, tell a different story. So we talk more less tell and attack, more share and attract, tie into the emotion of it. And people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I think that was Zig Ziglar. But all of these things are the exact same. So my question when I talk to real estate agents is, how do we get beyond the facts and figures? That's the same thing that everybody's talking about. That's unemotional. That's not inspiring anybody.
The only thing that popped into my mind was maybe taking a photo, if the clients allowed it, like a mother, daughter, something like, hey, this family finally got the house that they were looking for after a year, something like that. Or am I off track?
100%. So if you go stagnant image and you go pictures, so there's like media that's like pictures and postcards, and then there's websites and marketing, digital marketing. 100%. So picture, I work with executive teams and people in coaching all the time. The number one or two thing always on their list is to own a home. It's a very emotional process. And you think about the first time homeowners and what they went through. So what if before you sold them a house, they wrote down on their cards what their house looked like, their goal card, their house goal card, whatever you want to call it. And when you facilitated that dream for that client and they allowed it, why not take a picture of the family holding up their goal card in front of the house, and it said dream facilitated, number 1, 2, or 50, or for the year or whatever. But that's a story that people can relate to. Facts tell, stories sell. We hear it all the time. So what is the story behind that? The number one thing I think people miss it on the digital side is everybody, and I mean everybody, uses what I call death by text, block, boring ass testimonials. Nobody gets video testimonials. Go get some video testimonials. It's more heart driven. It's more real. It's more authentic. It plays hard, and it's more shareable. And we live in an attention economy. So nobody's doing those types of things. And you can tell because it's all the same. It's all just facts and figures. So
Nobody except our girl, Allie. Dude, Allie crushes the video testimonials. She's like, yeah.
I surprise them. I don't tell them that it's coming because otherwise they'll always say no, or not always, but they want. Yeah, they get nervous. They're not used to being on front of the camera. So day of closing or prior to, whenever there's the handoff for the keys, I whip out my phone. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. Sometimes I'll give them a little mic, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like in just less than 1 minute, can you share like what the VA loan or what loan type it was, how excited you are, like what's the favorite part of the process, and would you work with me again? Something like that. So that way it's their test. They haven't had any time to prep for it. It's super raw. It doesn't look scripted when I post it later. And they like it. It's like part of the hype up. Like, hey, congrats! I want you to be on my Instagram. Not that that's like a whole thing, but
Yep. That's phenomenal. And I almost literally never hear that. And my goodness, I would say the next level of that is putting that on some type of actual URL or site and then asking them to share. What happens a lot of times is when they give the testimonial, they're excited to actually share it because there's a sense of pride. Like they trusted you, you helped facilitate a dream for them. And my goodness, why wouldn't they share it? And that's kind of like, real estate agents and referrals go hand in hand.
Dude, Ricky, I am the one you were talking about, though, the death by, the text, the boring ass testimonials. And it sucks too. Like, I know that I need to be more like Allie and like what you're recommending, especially since like you put in all of this work for a transaction and you're literally building all these relationships and you're going through these up and down, these roller coasters with people. And at the end, your little crown of like your little gold star is a testimonial. And I read it and I'm like, dude, and it's not that they're not trying hard and, they're putting in all the stuff, but it does not translate to the absolute journey that we just went on together at all. I like read it and I'm like, damn, like all that work for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. And like so a couple of things. If you do go text, I always say make it quick, make it short, make it 1 or 2 lines. I'm a huge proponent of sharing these things online. If you literally go to my site, the block testimonials at the bottom of the site are all 1 line, 2 lines, something like that. The other thing that you can do is I've done this. I was like, do you mind if they're a little hesitant? I'll be like, do you mind if I write it and you just approve it if you agree with it? And then you have the authorization. So in text, you can get to it really, really fast. And then if it's video, the thing that I love to ask is, why were you so excited to work with me? And just let them go off. And then the team can cut it up and edit it and all that kind of stuff. But those things like excitement, pride, like shareability, those are emotional things. Why did you love to work with me? Why are you so excited about what you just went through? Tell me about how excited you are to live in your new home. Did you ever think you would be a homeowner? Those things invoke a lot of emotion. And we're human. We want an emotional connection, whether we admit it or not.
Yeah. I recently had a couple on my Tucson channel on YouTube. And it was my first time interviewing somebody like 1 year later, 1 year after buying, how has the process been with the new construction and just overall Tucson? They're military, so it's my avatar. What would be the best way to further maximize on that?
So number one, sharing YouTube. Let me ask you this. How many subscribers do you have?
On that channel, not a lot. 1,000, maybe two, less than two.
In the real estate game, that's massive. That's a huge, like
It's
200.
enough.
It's a lot.
It
It's
provides a good business. Yeah.
So the number one thing, like a line that I love to use is like, I like to share the things that didn't go right because you're not perfect, but it sounds like you will be accountable. And that's one of my favorite lines to use is like, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect, but when I'll be there for you when it's tough. So the stories of like the things that didn't go right when it wasn't all rainbows and ice cream, that's emotional. That's what's like people don't really expect. So that's the first thing. On the second thing is, I've done this before where I've asked people on camera. I was like, "Do you know of anybody that might be excited to work with me?" And some will say yes, some will say not. But I think when you get into the second level of that, there's this massive low hanging fruit for agents and YouTube and really being intentional. And when you get into like paid search and all that stuff, but like YouTube ads are so not in the real estate game that there's a huge opportunity for that. But just sharing that and asking the client to share the YouTube link with their friends, that's really powerful. I don't hear that very often where people actually have any YouTube with any subscribers.
Yeah, or if they do, it's hard to stick with. It's a commitment. And I think YouTube also just posted this or not posted, but they have this new ad where it's like the pause screen. So as soon as you pause something on YouTube, similar to like Netflix where now like an ad pops up. So that's also like a still image idea to get in front of. Cool. Okay.
Let me check that out, Ali, too, because the thumbnails I work when I do a lot of events, and a lot of people that come to my events are acrobats and YouTubers and like the 9 and 10 million, that kind of range, and they're so intentional with like the thumbnail, what it says. So I'm happy to connect you with them. I'm sure they'll share some best practices, but like they're at that level where they have to like they spend $1,000 on a thumbnail because it's
I would
that
love
important.
that. Yes, thumbnails, everything. Okay. Yeah, dude, I would love that connection. I'm gonna make a note of that. I want to shift a little bit toward mindset because last year in 2024 was a tough year for a lot of real estate agents. There were not that many real estate sales in relation to the years prior to that. 2025 is picking up. There are more real estate sales, supposedly. We'll see how it goes by the end of the year. But overall, with people that maybe may have been in the business for a couple of years, they were used to a certain amount of income, and then all of a sudden it dropped, or their team that they have, they're leaving to get part-time jobs, or they're just leaving the industry altogether. Where do we start as far as the mindset and how to make sure that you are still running a good business?
So my super direct answer to that would be another question. And I would say, do you want to be in an industry when there's infinite tons and tons and tons of competition, or an industry where there's less competition? People will typically say less competition. Well, then that's now. Because here's the deal. It wasn't that hard 4 years ago. Flat out. Like, let's call a spade a spade. Let's call it what it is. Let's be honest. With interest rates at like 2 or 3% and people flooding the market, well, guess what happened? Real estate agents flooded the market because everybody thought they were rock stars, and they didn't develop a skill set to withstand normal times like we're at now. When my parents bought a house, the interest rate was 17%. So what it's doing is it's allowing for actual skill sets to win and visibility to win. Sometimes visibility with YouTube and those things will outlast ability, but it's one of those two. So if you're not being visible or not increasing your ability, you're going to lose. And so one of the things I share with people all the time is it was easy when it's all rainbows and ice cream. Like, let's be honest and have an honest conversation. It wasn't that difficult. Now I have an opportunity, if I'm that agent, to really develop a skill set. I have a client base. So now I learn how to actually get referrals, not just talk about getting referrals, and doing tangible things like getting video testimonials, like starting a YouTube. But you cannot be the same agent you were 4 years ago and expect to win. But what's happening is everybody's just panicking. Nobody's developing a skill set. So then everybody leaves, which is good for the people that can stick it out and actually want to create a craft and a skill set and become a marketer when it's challenging and normal, not when it's all easy rainbows and ice cream. So I would say, congratulations. Now you can become better at your craft and develop a skill set and invoke one of the greatest skills on the planet, which is ask for help. There are people that are massively successful today that people know. Ask them for help. That's it.
I like that you said visibility over ability
I wrote
because
that one down too, Allie.
That's
you
good.
saw it.
actually I'm scrolled on page 3.
Ricky, you don't know that Allie and I share like a Google Doc where we're like, hey, like, next question,
Nice.
making notes and stuff like that. So,
Yes.
Okay, we just wrote the same thing.
Team,
That's
baby.
fine.
That's funny.
Clearly it was great.
Yeah, it comes down to what we say a lot, Shelby and I. Like the loudest marketer wins. Like whether or not they're good. They may be a bad person. They may not have a good system, but they will win because they are the loudest.
Yeah, I love that. And Grant, this it was like my first year in real estate back in 2018. I heard Grant Cardone say that best known beats best. And that like smacked me in the face because there's so many agents too that are like, well, I just really want to become a really great agent, but no one will work with you if they don't know you exist. So
100%. And that's the beauty of what is working today. We live in an attention economy. You can suck, be out there mostly, and be seen, you will win. Like that's how low that playing field is. And then if you're out there, you're good, and you're intentional with the visibility, now you can be an absolute rock star because the competition is going away. It's just we're so scared to develop a skill set and do things that we haven't done before that so few people do it. But 100%, like if you're not being seen, you're basically running an uphill battle from day one.
I know that marketing in general can be not only uncomfortable for a lot of people, they don't like putting themselves out there, but it can also be overwhelming because there's so many options out there for what you can do to market yourself. And so, Ricky, if you were an agent who, in this scenario that Allie was talking about right now, where it's like life used to be easy, they're kind of getting kicked in the teeth, they're getting a little scared, realize that they haven't had a plan in place and they don't have a marketing strategy. If you were there, what would you personally do?
If you're looking to change brokerages this year so you can increase your business and you want to join us at eXp Realty and would like either myself, Allie Garced, or Shelby Johnson to personally sponsor you in, so that way you have access to 2 icon agents, text the word JOIN to either my number, 914-318-4918,
or Shelby's number, 859-267-3849.
If I sponsor you and you have access to the both of us and everything that's 5 Pillars Nation, we have the checklist, the systems, the processes to help you scale your business. And don't take our word for it. We've had agents switch brokerages to join us that were stuck making $300,000 GCI, and they join us so they can scale. So text the word JOIN to those numbers and we'll take the next steps.
So for me, and I'll say this, like I'm fully aware that not everybody thinks like me. I am a risk taker and I'm an eternal optimist. So I see the world from a different lens. So let that be known. What I'm about to say, I see the world through the lens of I can. And the thing that scares the crap out of me is not taking risk. So that being said, the number one thing that has helped me in my life, in businesses that I run, businesses that I've exited, businesses that I've consulted for, is if it makes me money, it costs me nothing. If it makes me money, it costs me nothing. And the reason I share that is because no matter what you're doing, find something to invest in, whether it's marketing, whether it's YouTube, whether it's ad, whether it's SEO, whether it's a website, something. Now you can do plenty of things that you don't invest in, and there's different investment levels, but there could be $100 investment level, a $500 investment level, a $5,000, whatever it is. But when you start spending money on yourself, more times than not, you're going to feel indebted to yourself because there's a lot more on the line. When people pay, they pay attention. Now, I'll share this. Now, just full disclosure, this is a company that I consult for. If you do not have a website, that is like showing $1 million home and saying, I don't need to stage it. I don't need to put any pictures up. I don't need to put any videos up. I'm just going to put the address on the MLS and nothing at all. That's a one-time transaction. When you do not have a website, and I'm not talking about a broker page or something that comes for free. When you do not have a website, that's like treating a property with no imaging. How are people supposed to fall in love with you? Yes, YouTube is great. Yes, social media is great. And again, full disclosure, I consult for companies that do this. Whether you ever use that company or not, get online with an intentional site. Don't make a bio about you 20 miles long. Make it short. Put it at the bottom of the page. Put video testimonials at the top of the page. Okay. Where you go to anybody's website, you scroll down past the hero image, and there's a bio that's like a thesis that we got to read. And it's not inspiring anybody. People don't care that you guys are real estate agents. People don't care that I'm a speaker. They care why I do what I do. One thing when people ask me why I do or what I do, I say, I think we have a happiness problem. We're taking more pills and we're sicker than we've ever been. How do we fix that? In my opinion, we work with kids and we teach them lessons of gratitude and kindness and how to ask for help and how to work together and have trust and support from kindergarten to 8th grade. That's important. I don't lead with, I speak to companies like Costco and Lululemon, Home Depot. I lead with why we do what we do. But real estate agents lead with what they sell. They lead with all facts and figures. Nobody's ever going to read that. No one's ever going to read that. So that's my opinion. And then people say, but that costs money. If it makes me money, it costs me nothing. That's why I use that framing. But that's what I would do personally. That's what I have done in my businesses.
Is that what you would, does that fall under what you call mindset fitness? Can we go further into what mindset fitness is?
Yeah. So mindset fitness to me is we think about what we're going to drink. We think about what we're going to eat, but we don't think about what we're going to think about. So when I say I see the world as an eternal optimist, it's because I read a gratitude poem every day. Every day I read a gratitude poem, but I don't use gratitude when it's all rainbows and ice cream. This is how people use gratitude. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for the sunshine. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. That's easy. That's like saying, hey, I love real estate when rates are 2.5%. Okay. The way we want to use gratitude is when the shitstorm comes, when everything's falling apart. When we get in shape, do we run uphill or we do run downhill? We run uphill because it's harder. So it's more impactful. So the reason I share that is I started a gratitude poem. You guys can have a free template if you want, but I say find one thing that really pisses you off and use your most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force the world has ever known, your brain, to inverse that from negative to positive. So the first thing that drove me nuts was just I fly all over the country from LA to Miami or LA to New York or LA to Boston, and I get a red eye flight. I can sleep like a baby on the plane, and the lights go down, and I got my neck pillow. I'm about to fall asleep. The thing that drove me up the wall was a screaming baby wailing behind my ear. And I always say I apologize to people that have kids, but I was like, somebody shut that fucking baby up, or I'm gonna shut it. It pissed me off. Like, and then I learned how am I going to give away my power to anybody else, never mind a toddler. So I remember writing this down on a plane, and I remember getting emotional with it because my mentors taught me, like, I wrote, I am grateful, period, for the screaming baby on the plane because it means that I can hear. And I thought of all the people that were deaf and could not hear the screaming baby. And here I am, my arms work, my legs work, my eyes work. I'm on a plane. I have resources and I'm bitching and complaining. And like from that day, I read that every day. And so when I see the world, I see it from a different lens. I see it from a different perspective. As people bitch and complain out there, I feel like I'm stronger in the sense of when things happen, because they're going to happen, the shitstorm's going to come. How quickly can I convert it from negative to positive? So I have like 20 of those little hacks that when my shitstorm comes, I can spend just moments instead of minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, and years in that negativity range. So that ability to convert from negative to positive quickly, to me, is mindset fitness. And so everyone's like, it's just Ricky. He's just a positive guy. He's just happy-go-lucky. And I say, no, asshole, I work on it. Like, that's a skill set. And I work on it every single day. So I just have a bunch of like little hacks that I use. So that to me is, for me, mindset fitness.
Dude, I love that because that's a habit that, and gosh, that's so funny. People do that all the time. Whenever someone's good at something, they say you're lucky or it must be easy or whatever. They don't realize that you, Ricky, might not have been that same person 5, 10 years ago, and that you've put in a lot of work to develop that habit of the positivity and seeing the world through a specific lens. And I love that too, because I feel like a lot of real estate agents in particular, because it's a roller coaster of emotions and it's really, really hard, way harder than people think. I see agents latch on to something that they wish was different or something that went bad and then waste tons of energy, time, energy, bandwidth towards that one thing and wishing to change whatever reality was, as opposed to building a habit like you've done and being able to accept it, find the positive, and then move on and be productive using that energy in other ways.
100%. And if you get into like the whole metaphysics of this and the brain and the neuroplasticity and all that kind of stuff, it really comes down to two things. Our brain is meant to do two things: keep us safe, conserve energy. That's it. That's why change is so hard, because change takes a lot of energy. And that's when stress comes in. Stress will drain you. So when those people come in, if that, you see it all the time. You see people going down a rabbit hole. It doesn't serve them, but they keep going down the rabbit hole because that's what their brain knows. That's what the brain is going to direct them to do. They've never inversed that. So it compounds and compounds and compounds. And we wake up and we wonder why we're sick, pissed off, and frustrated and tired, you know? And to me, it's like, I think my personal opinion is we don't teach this in schools. We don't understand how freaking powerful we really are. And so how do we use that when the crap storm comes? So when that crap storm comes, good. It's an opportunity to build a skill set. It's an opportunity to ask for help. It's an opportunity to build relationships with people that may want to help you. And when that happens, it's better for them too. Because when we don't ask for help, not only do we not get help, we maybe not get to honor the person that was willing to help us. And that's a bummer for that person too, that he may never or she may never have known. So, and we think, especially men think asking for help comes from weakness, and it doesn't. It comes from strength. Hence why there needs to be more women like you all sharing it, speaking on it, podcasting about it, speaking on it on stage. Like, the world needs more women speakers, founders, CEOs, thought leaders, fill in the blank. It's a messenger that, it's kind of what I call the cool uncle messenger. I can say the same thing to my friends' kids. They'll listen to me instead of them because it's a different messenger. So I've gone to events, and when I go to an event, people look like I do, and it's 98% men. A woman can say the same thing, and it'll have more impact because it's a different messenger. So all of these things, and we bitch and complain about what? Like, we're freaking alive. We're walking, talking miracles, and we're going to waste our time bitching and complaining. Now, does it suck when bad things happen? Yeah. But now what? Now what? Am I going to spend my precious time on this earth bitching and complaining, or am I going to ask for help, build a better skill set, and therefore honor the people that believed in me? To do that is, to me, to live a powerful life.
Absolutely. What would you say to get more tactical daily habits for real estate agents that may be stuck in that, mindset of, oh man, I'm working with the seller and now all of a sudden he wants to rent instead of list and I lost money on the photography, or I'm working with this buyer, viewed 10 homes, they decided to go to a different state. From the point of where they maybe lost out on a transaction, and they're mad, they're angry, whatever. What would you say from there should be their daily habits, multiple times a day? What should they do to get out of it and start working on the process of becoming an overall stronger mindset?
Okay. So I'll take the first question first. When that happens, I would still ask for a testimonial, even if it didn't work out, because then they might still can say they might know, like, and trust you. And then if on the next listing appointment, whatever the person I want to earn the business with, I'm going to share that freaking story. This is something that didn't work out. I want you to know that you're no longer a number for me. I will be there whether you're able to do a transaction or whether you're not. Here's proof of that. This person gave me a video testimonial of how they know, like, and trust me, and we ended up not doing anything and then tell the story. I showed them 10 houses. I showed them 20 houses. We were doing this. We were doing that. I don't know when and if they'll ever do a transaction, but I was there for them and I will continue to be there for them. That's how I look at you. You are not a number to me. So there's things to win there. I would use the negative to become positive. Now, how do I get there? If I had to pick one way for agents or anybody to start develop the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force the world has ever known, for me, it's write down something that pisses you off and use your brain to find out why that was a productive thing. Not that you're happy that it happened, but why it can be productive in your life. And I don't care. I've done this, gotten off stage in front of 5,000 people, and I said, come challenge me. I'll stay here all night until everybody's through. And I say, bring what to me, what was a challenge to you, and we'll work together to inverse it and find the positive in it. And I got people coming up to me telling me about life, my goodness, cancer, death, diabetes, tragedy, like real stuff. And when you're able to do that, it's a skill set. So to me, the number one thing is to write a gratitude poem, look at it every day. And I'm talking one thing. This is where people, when they start to get into meditation and visualization, this is everybody's new health plan on January 1st. I'm going to meditate for 4 hours. I'm going to eat lettuce and I'm going to run 10 miles. The universe does not reward scale. It will reward consistency. So lower the damn bar to create the consistency that can help our brain. So when people want to get into all this stuff, do freaking 60 seconds a day. Don't do 10 minutes. Don't do 30 minutes because it'll be short-lived. So keep it simple. Do it daily. And then you start to develop that lens that you see the world through. Then you can actually ask for that testimonial of the things that didn't work out. That's where I would start with that. But I would say, good, get the testimonial. Did you provide value to that person's life? If the answer to that is yes, get a video testimonial.
I like that a lot. Super, super tactical. I like that. Thank you for sharing that. Would you so you've mentioned your gratitude poem twice. Would you be
we wanna know.
open to sharing it?
Yeah, of course. You can I'll send it to you guys. So there's two ways. I'll send you guys the PDF. There's also, I have a landing page where I collect data. It's gratitudepoem.com. You can download a free template, but I do get your information to market to. But I'll give it to you guys if nobody wants to do that. I'll give you guys just the PDF. You guys can have that too. It's the front side is full of things that people are usually bitching and complaining about. The second side is the easy side. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. The easy side. Work on the hard side first because that's what will actually develop the skill set. Both are important, but the front side is the things that people are usually complaining about.
But how's it a poem? Does it rhyme? Does it have to rhyme?
It doesn't have to rhyme.
He raps it.
Yeah, I would say poem, but no, it's more like a menu, actually.
Gotcha. Okay. And guys, that will be uploaded into theagentgoldmine.com in our gold mine of golden nuggets for you. And if you've never checked that out before, it truly is a gold mine. So, okay. Very cool. Love that. And something I just wanted to circle back to real quick. I think Ali has another question, but, I love what you said about taking the failure and turning it into something that's positive. I heard this phrase a while ago that reminds me of this, or it's make your mess your message. And I feel like that's like the same type of thing where it's like anything bad that happened, as long as you provide value, is a great story and people probably resonate with it more than all the success stories. It's kind of like on Instagram when you see all of the highlight reels and eventually you see so much positive that you stop watching them, which I actually have done. Like in, my moods when I'm like going through stuff and I just see only highlights from one person, I'm like, dude, like if you're only getting like, fuck you, I'm not going to podcast anymore. Sorry. But it is one of those things that makes you more human, more approachable, more authentic, and loops all the way back to what Ricky was talking about with marketing in the beginning. People don't care about the stats. They want to know who you are. Okay, I'm
And
done.
I think that's really important too. I want to piggyback off of that because all of that stuff, make your mess your message. There's a setup and the setback, all of that stuff. There's so many like those little things, they have rings. That's why rhyming is important because we'll remember it better or how it flows like that. And my thing with that is when you have it, use it as a life message 100% and post on social media if you want to. I always ask, live by it first, post it second because people come to me all the time and then I see their social, it's all rainbows and ice cream on the social, but then they're not living by what they just posted. And I'm like, talk about a pandemic, like that, like negativity. This isn't a political statement. That negativity, not supporting others, not asking for help, those are the greatest pandemics the world has ever seen. They have killed more goals and dreams than any virus ever has. So post it first. And the other thing was, when people are going through challenges in their business, have you ever read the book Man's Search for Meaning?
Yes.
Okay.
So good.
So that book, here's another little hack. The gratitude poems one, another one. When a shitstorm's come to me and it's like, man, it's coming again and again and again, I ask myself one question and it stops my complaining instantly. For me, instantly. So for those who don't know, Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, he was in Auschwitz. He was in a death camp. I believe it was his mother and his father and his wife were burned alive. Like, just consider that the most unfathomable thing ever to happen in human history. So when I'm going through a crap storm, I just say, Ricky, is what you're going through a Viktor Frankl problem? Or what you going through a Viktor Frankl problem? And obviously it's not even, it's almost, it is offensive for me to even consider that. And it stops my complaining instantly. So, and that's number one, is when you're going down that rabbit hole, what can you trigger to stop that rabbit hole? And for me, it's like, what I'm going through a Viktor Frankl problem. Stop it, reinverse, get back to where I need to go. But absolutely make your mess your message.
I want to shift the topic to leverage because you teach how to create more leverage, build more leverage in businesses. So what would you advise for real estate agents that maybe have like a small team, maybe like a showing assistant or a person doing their admin, maybe like somebody to edit their videos, like somebody like me. What would you advise?
Not to make this specific, but it's quite specific.
Totally hypothetical. How would you suggest, or in just in general, for an agent to build more leverage?
If you're looking to change brokerages this year so you can increase your business and you want to join us at eXp Realty and would like either myself, Ali Garced, or Shelby Johnson to personally sponsor you in, so that way you have access to 2 icon agents, text the word JOIN to either my number, 914-318-4918,
Or Shelby's number, 859-267-3849.
If I sponsor you and you have access to the both of us and everything that's 5 Pillars Nation, we have the checklist, the systems, the processes to help you scale your business. And don't take our word for it. We've had agents switch brokerages to join us that were stuck making $300,000 GCI, and they join us so they can scale. So text the word JOIN to those numbers and we'll take the next steps.
Okay. So couple things. Remember when I said, if it makes me money, it costs me nothing. And as the eternal optimist, so what I'm going to share is coming through that frame. There's a thing that I call pride of ownership energy. When people on a team, when they feel that they're individuals, they may or may not share things. When they feel like they're part of a team, they're going to share things more. When they feel part ownership in the team, they're going to go bonkers with it because they feel like they have a say. So there's just really 3 different levels. So what I would say, whether it's a hypothetical for Allie or not, I would say, okay, number one, how many people on the team? And I would go ask them, what would it take for you to feel like you're part of the team? Get that feedback. And they're probably going to be like, oh, I already feel like I'm part of the team. Well, then my second question is, what would it take you to take this to the next level and start sharing this? Whether it's a referral fee or an incentive, something along the lines. And again, full disclosure, I consult for companies like this, but if you use this company or any other company, we do a lot of enterprise deals. So when there's a digital image, we're doing this with some massive real estate agents right now. O Group, Altman Brothers, Egypt Sherrard, Keanu Watson. When there's a team and there's like either a site or an individual, and then the team members, whether they're active agents or not, and they get their own sites, there's different types of sites. So something that's super basic still has their own URL and they can build their own message and get their own video testimonials, but the team leader controls all the lead gen and everything like that. So if I have somebody, we build a themed site, super basic, we can have it up in a week, and we do that for the team, they get pride of ownership energy. We've seen it before, and because the team leader gave them that, they go bonkers because now they feel invested. They feel like an equity partner almost. And that is like, that's the ultimate leverage. I think it was who said I'd rather have the effort, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of one person's effort. I think it was Rockefeller, something like that. But that's how you get that leverage. That's the ultimate leverage to me.
So I was thinking too, but I think that would make a lot more sense for me had you been telling me that in 2019 to 2021, just because at that point in time I had a full blown team with agents on there and like in person admin. And the reason why I paused, I don't know if Ali is the same, is just because I shut the entire team down back in 2021 and I thought about leaving the industry, was done, moved to a different state, and after years have decided to get back into production. And why did I leave this? Like, I'm actually like having a freaking blast round
Nice.
two
Nice.
because I finally know what I'm doing. But anyway, all to say, like at this point in time, I don't have any agents. It's me and my husband who's already bought in, and then our assistants is off overseas. We have, Filipino amazing virtual assistant, Cheska, shout out. Hi. But I think that's the way that I took what you mentioned was more of like them going out and helping build your brand. And so I struggled with that because I was thinking, how do we get pride of ownership in a way that is not public? Like they're not client facing. They're not forward facing. It's all back end. All to explain that is why I paused. Ali, were you the same?
Yeah. I don't have any like full time here in the States. No formal team. So yeah, kind of thinking of right now. I feel like
How to translate.
Yeah. I'm like a hub and spoke. Like I have like all these different VAs, but they don't work together. It's not like a department. I have a lot to think about. I wanted to ask also so you're speaking at EXPCon. Can you give us a teaser as far as what you'll be talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple different events. And let me share this. I still, even if you have some digital representation, and I would ask one or two people, even if they do whatever their social media, even if they're in the Philippines, whatever, have a picture of them, have a bio of them, and show that there is more than just you. It's because my number one rule in sales is promote yourself by promoting others. So if it's always me, 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 there's a different translation there of like, oh, there's a team behind this. So there's still ways to do it. I'm happy to talk with anybody of diving into that. EXP Con, the big one I'm talking with Leo about. I'm going to be doing some stuff with Leo and his Team Leader Academy is something that they're starting to put together. The regional ones that are coming up. I'm speaking to this month. One is in Carlsbad with Jessica Nieto. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Sorry, Jessica.
I think it's Nieto. Yeah.
Nieto, got it.
Yeah. EXP, she was 2024 Icon of the Year.
She was. I didn't know this. So we got connected to talk about relationship capital. It's so funny how we got connected. And then I'm doing another one in Central California with Amberly. I think it's Dancy Gonzalez in the Central Coast. And so each one of those is going to be my full mindset fitness for marketing. So a lot of these things that we're talking about here, but I go kind of more into the examples and it's kind of interactive. It's like a workshop a little bit. So we're doing that in Carlsbad and then the Central Coast. I think it's Santa Maria. And then I spoke at EXPCon last year. That was that was mindset fitness, none of the marketing piece. And then this year, hopefully on the main stage, still have to talk to Leo about that. your CEO, I have a really good friend that I played baseball with that's in Miami that's friends with Leo. He connected us, so we're starting to do a number of different things together. I love me some EXP.
That is super cool. I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Are you going to be doing any regional rallies out here in the Midwest?
So here's the thing. I am open to it, and so full disclosure, I get 25 grand for any keynote that I do. I'm waiving my fee for both of these for Agent Image, which is the company that I consult for that I have a very kind of near and dear. They're very near and dear to my heart. They help my life, not just my business. So Agent Image is going to be one of the sponsors at those events, and they're giving them a free sponsorship because I'm waiving my fee. So again, just in full disclosure, I would be open to it. I'm happy to talk to anybody if you guys want to make any connections or whatever. But for EXP is one of the brokerages that I do a lot of work with. So I'm always willing to kind of do this or that with EXP.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
Is before we, or I guess as we wrap up, where would be the best way for people to contact you, find out more about you, more of your past speaking gigs, your future speaking gigs, all the things?
Yeah. So website is just rickymendez.com, Mendez. Instagram is Ricky Mendez Speaks. My email, Ricky @rickymendez. If you don't get me there, you can email Savvy, SAVVY @rickymendez.com. But yeah, I'm pretty easy to get a hold of.
Perfect. And okay, Ricky, last question. Is there anything that we didn't hit on today that you would think would be important for our listeners in April, springtime of 2025?
I would say the number one thing is start to work on how good you are at converting energy. I believe our life, our relationships, and our health, everything will be contingent on our ability to do that quickly. So what I'm probably my favorite hack is, and I'll share this with you. Everybody's got an iPhone or an Android, and if you go into albums, anytime somebody thanks you, anybody says "job well done," it doesn't have to be, you saved my life. It can be, hey, thanks for picking up the call. Thanks for the 5 minutes. The universe will not reward scale. It will reward consistency. So we get so obsessed with scale and we forget that the power really lies in the simplicity. So when somebody says something nice about you, screenshot it, put it in that album. So when my shitstorm comes, I literally have something to look at, to read, to remind me that I have greatness in me too. And mentally, now I'm starting to release the good stuff instead of the bad stuff. It is a conscious choice. I get the dopamine, the oxytocin, the serotonin, and the endorphins, or I get the adrenaline and I get the epinephrine and the cortisol. I choose every single day. So that's probably one of my favorite hacks is when my shitstorm comes, I can just go look. I go to my I Am Great album. I have screenshots of all the things that people said to me. I feel better. So to me, that's the medicine. That's the juice. So those types of little things, get as many of those as you can and use them.
Nice, nice. That's a great way to close out this episode. Ricky,
Well,
thank you so much for jumping on the Agent Goldmine. I hope to have you back in the future.
yeah. Great seeing you again, Allie. It's been like a decade. That's so cool. Thanks for
I
reaching
know,
out.
over a decade.
Yeah. You guys are awesome. Congratulations on everything. And actually, can I take a picture?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna.
Nice. That's it's a big thing that I do is more women with microphones and their mics are in the picture. That's cool.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay. And for listeners out there, be a bro and share this show.